Welcome back, guys. So in this video, I'm going to be walking you through shingling the entire roof of the Cedar Hollow. Now, to be fair, this is my first time ever shingling, so fingers crossed there's no leaks. I took a couple courses at YouTube University, so hopefully they do me well. I'm going to be doing all sorts of things, cutting in skylights, waterproofing details, ice and water barrier, like drip edge, all of it. So let's go give this a go and jump into shingling the roof. The roof can wait a second, and that's because the sponsor of this video is AG1. So one of the questions I get asked the most is, how do you have all this energy to build stuff like this by yourself, stack shipping container homes, and just do all of this while working a full-time job? And honestly, the answer as of a few months ago was tons of coffee, tons of energy drinks, and I knew that had to change. And that's why when AG1 reached out a month ago, I was so excited because I had heard so many incredible things about the company. Naturally, I'm a very skeptical person and don't believe stuff until I try it myself. And when I first received AG1 and started drinking it as part of my morning routine, I intentionally cut back on my coffee intake, dialing it back to 1 coffee in the morning and no energy drinks. And I can honestly say this stuff works. And my girlfriend Emily can even vouch. A few days ago, she was like, wow, you seem to have like a lot more energy. You're not tired in the afternoon. The afternoon fatigue is essentially gone. So with me living a busy, crazy lifestyle, it's really hard to find time to do all the meal prep. Like, I'm a huge health fanatic, but the last few years it's been really tough to get all the essential nutrients, which AG1 helps to cover all of those essential nutrients and really gives you a foundation to work off of. AG1 has a whole bunch of health benefits, and the one I've noticed the most is enhanced ability to focus and just have more energy to be able to knock out one task at a time. I'm not having to like run to the coffee machine every half hour or so and go top up on some coffee to go plow through whatever task I'm working on. I'm not always able to keep up with perfect meal prep that helps to get all the daily nutrients that I need to live a healthy life. And it really helps to get all those foundational nutrients into my body, which one of the benefits is that AG1 supports your gut health. It's packed with a whole bunch of prebiotics, probiotics, and plant-based enzymes. Maybe a little more information than you want to know, but a few days in, I did notice changes in my bowel movements, and let's just say things are a bit healthier. I won't go into detail. And another thing I love is that AG1's able to adapt to my busy, crazy lifestyle. For example, when I'm headed out here to go work on the Cedar Hollow, I'm able to just fill this guy up with 8 ounces of water, which they recommend that you go between 8 and 12 ounces of water, but I go with a lesser amount of water because I actually really enjoy the taste of it. And they have these little travel size pouches, so if you're traveling for business, you can just load up on however many you need. I remember I used to like lug around my big thing of whey protein when I would like travel around the country doing film gigs. But now this works out great because when I'm traveling, I just load up on however many packs of these I need, dump it in there, give it a little shake. Give it a little shake and you're good to go. I personally am a huge fan. Hold on, I'm actually gonna finish this up. Got a long day ahead of us. I feel like it's always so much harder to be healthy when things you have to take to be healthy don't taste good, but I really love the taste of it. So it's almost been easy. Just every morning I wake up, grab a scoop, dump it in the bottle, load it up, and I'm off. So if you guys want to join me by drinking AG1 as part of your morning routine, go to drinkag1/DevinLorup to get started on your order. So when you order through my link down below, AG1 is going to be giving you a free 1-year supply of AG vitamin D3 and K2 and 5 free travel packs. Before we get back to throwing the roof on, I do just want to take a second and thank AG1 so much for sponsoring this video. This was a dream partnership. I mean, the only reason I do all this in the first place is so that I can create long-term wealth and have spaces to enjoy with my family, and this would all be pointless if you don't have your own health. So supporting and taking care of your body is exactly what you have to be doing to make all of this worth it in the first place. Plus it makes it a lot easier on yourself being healthy, not being 300 pounds putting a roof on. Anyways, thank you AG1, and let's get back to throwing that roof on. So first up, since we're in the middle of the forest, there's not tons of natural light coming in from the side windows. Like obviously we've loaded one side of the house with windows, but with all the tree cover, there's not as much natural light as I would like. So I'm adding some skylights. I'm gonna have 2 skylights that sit here over the living room, because you can see how in the daytime with the sun coming straight down, it can really just light up a room. Plus, I love all that natural light feeling, especially because we don't get as much here. The waterproofing details on these look a little bit tricky, so hopefully everything goes smooth. But these are gonna look so cool. They're 2 feet by 4 feet, so they're gonna bring in so much light. So this type of skylight is a curb mounted skylight, which pretty much just means that it gets the skylight off the roof a little bit more. In my opinion, it's a better waterproofing detail instead of the deck mounted ones that sit flush to this. So 25.5 by 49.5. So we gotta go make a little box. So we gotta make a box that looks like that. So that's how it's gonna look when it's sitting up on the roof, and let's screw it together. Boom, there we go. Now I just gotta do it again. I've got both of the skylight boxes made. So what I'm thinking is running that first beam down the center here, the center of this opening, and on either side, so in this bay and this bay, we'll be putting the skylights. So I'm gonna go lay out where the 2 skylights go. They gotta fit between the 2 trusses here. So I'll shoot the laser up at the ceiling and we'll get everything all laid out. Okay, time to set up the laser. This thing is so sweet. I used it so much at the bin. I used it so much when I was building the shipping container. I'll drop the Amazon partner link down below. I get like a couple pennies if any of you buy it, but this thing is so sweet. I know you guys can't really see that, but it'll make a lot more sense from the top. And I'm gonna do it again. Okay, so I'm being really careful not to step on all the screws up here, but I'm gonna lay out, now I'm gonna lay out the exact dimensions, make sure everything checks out, and then go cut the openings. All right, so now I'm gonna knock all the screws through. Cool. Look at that, skylight number 1. Oh, now I'm gonna square everything up, make sure it's level going this way, and do a bunch of toenails and set this thing in. So, long story short, that's what it's gonna look like. Okay, so now both of the skylights are in. I love how they look. I'll go show you guys from downstairs what it looks like. I even moved the ladder inside of one of the skylights just because I knew my mom wouldn't like me scaling the outside face. There we go. There are the 2 skylights. It brings so much more natural light in here. I'm like, I'm shocked and out of breath. But it looks so, so good. So next step is setting all my vent stack pipes. So I'll have one here in the kitchen for the sink. Pretty much it's just like a pressure relief, like as the water goes down, so it doesn't like create a vacuum. So I'm gonna have 2 vents here that stick up through the roof. One, you can see it, that's a 2-inch PVC pipe there in the kitchen. And the other one is gonna go here in the bathroom. So I'm gonna go put a bunch of holes up through the studs so we can stub up the PVC. And then I'll also drill some holes in the roof, and we'll be using these vent stack boots. They like slide over the boot so that no water gets in. But yeah, we'll be using those to come up through the roof when we're shingling. So I just cut the vent stack. Sorry I didn't film it. I couldn't find my hole bit and I just ended up doing it with a Sawzall. So not the cleanest, but it's up. So this will be venting for the bathroom here. And then this pipe right here will be venting for the kitchen sink, just as like pressure relief. We'll get to that when we get to the plumbing stuff. Here is the drip edge that I'm gonna be using. So this portion sits here on the roof. This portion hangs under, and you can see it's flared out to kick the water out even more. And then all the shingles will overlap this edge by like a 1/4 inch so that all the water sort of just runs off. And if it does get under, it'll just go in and catch the gutter. Also, I painted the front edge black here, so everything looks black from the bottom. So I've installed the edge all the way up to there. Now I just gotta add this last little end piece. So I'm gonna cut it here. Cool, there we go. That's the whole bottom face drip edge. Now that we have that on, I can start doing all the ice and water shield that laps over top. So my plan is I'm gonna do ice and water shield over the entire home. I know typically people do, I think it's 24 inches past the interior wall. So like my interior wall lands like here. I would go like 4 feet past that or 24 inches past that. But just because we get a lot of rain here, I'm gonna do it across the whole roof. So it should be overkill and make up for any little mistakes that I might make along the way. All right, that's the first row down. Now we just gotta do it a few more times. So 3 inches from the face of the curb is where the ice and water shield should stop because their flashing laps over. So I promise I'm actually figuring out how my mic works, but my mic did die again. So you can see the last roll of the ice and water shield here. It looks like a different product, but it's actually the same ice and water shield, just a slightly different brand, but it works exactly the same. So then I finish up here with doing the perimeter trim on the right and left side of the roof. You can see me doing the left side over here. And then we're gonna get to the first starter shingles. Lowe's didn't have any starter shingles, so what I actually did was just flipped over a normal shingle and used the tar face down so it actually adheres to the starter strip, so we have a nice solid seal to start. And then I offset by 8 inches at the very start so that we're able to not have any seams overlap with the joints of the shingles. My nice camera has died, so we are filming the rest of this on iPhone today. So we're gonna lay this ice and water shield around the perimeter of both skylights. Now that I've cut out that, couple inch perimeter around here. Okay, so now you can see the bottom sill flashing will fit just like that. So that we get any water that gets on here, hits a shingle, and just rides it just like any other normal shingle. This show going because I only have a few hours until the next guest gets here. Okay, so now we'll go shingle metal. Pull that down. Shingle. And we'll do nails 1, 2, 3 across. And we'll do this metal flashing. Okay, so I've done all that shingle flashing, stepping all the way up here. I can't set the last piece until I get all the shingles up this high, so I know exactly where this shingle lands to set the last piece of flashing. So yeah, I'm gonna go just start plowing through all the sides here and get it up to the top. So before I can set this top flashing, I'm gonna set, I have a little bit extra of this, and what I'm actually gonna do is interweave this underlayment, and have it flash over top to this. So any water that does get under hits this stuff, comes on top, and then just keeps riding its way out. So what we're gonna do is, this is roughly my line. So we'll go out, we'll cut a line in the underlayment, is weave this stuff under there. All right, it's gonna be a little tricky, but we'll. So just as an overkill precaution, I'm gonna throw some caulk on this seam. So we are finally past the skylights, and I'll walk you through exactly how it looks now. So we have all this stair steps, so it'll just be easy to start just laying pieces, making some ground up here. And then here is the final flashing detail. So it's staggered every other, all the way down. Asphalt shingle sitting on top of it. So that as water cascades down, there's always a shingle and metal underneath, and you can see how they're all like staggered all the way down. So we have that over here. I probably could have cut the bottom tier off there, but I didn't, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect the waterproofing. And this side, I messed it up a little bit. I accidentally had this one down too far, so I added one more, and we're still staggered. It just doesn't look quite as clean. But here is what we have so far. I have 2 more hours to get the rest of this done. It shouldn't be a problem. I gotta go take out the garbage at the bin, all before the guest checks in. So here we go. All right, before we start plowing, I'm gonna see if this actually fits. I really hope it does. Wow, look at that. So there it is. That final top strip's on, so I can go take this drip edge. Let's see if I can get them split apart. Put it over. There we go. Put it over like that. So all I gotta do is nail it, glue all the nails on top, and I am out of here. This has been a miserable afternoon, but the roof's done. I just gotta clean up. Oh, and I gotta throw the skylight cover on. Oh, and the last step for finishing the roof here is to throw on the last top of the skylight, screw it in, and we're done. And that is the whole roof. So if you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like and subscribe button so you can see how the Cedar Hollow turns out. Thank you AG1 for sponsoring this video, and we'll see you in the next one.